Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Scooter Roth, and welcome to an episode of The Messy Desk. And today I wanted to sit back and talk about a recent lawsuit that was finalized between Mashable and Stephanie Sinclair over the use of embeddable images on Instagram. Stay tuned. Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to a makeshift studio of Scooter Roth Changing Optics. So anyway, I picked up some LED lights that I've been having fun with. I actually started a new Instagram for just LED lighting at Scooter Roth Photography, which is different than my regular Scooter Roth or Changing Optics or the Midst of Mayhem or the Red Light Weddings or any of those channels. So if you're interested in LED lights, kind of like what's behind me, little things like these puck lights or stuff like that, go find me at Scooter Roth Photography. So I've been having fun with those, and they're fun. You can move around all around the house. I put them on the lights. I put them on I put them on the ceiling fan, which is kind of cool. Anything that moves is really cool. There's a guy named Jordy Coletic that does a lot of fun stuff with that. I did an awesome one regarding reading a book that I really wish my son was in the photo with me. That was the intent, but unfortunately it didn't work out that way, so I ended up having a stand-in with a stuffed animal that you can see here. But it came out cool, so props to Jordy Coletic for that inspiration. Anyway, but that's going to be later on an episode of Messy Studio. But for the Messy Desk, there is a topic that I want to talk about regarding a recent final result of an Instagram lawsuit, and about how whether your photos that are embeddable are copyright infringement. So anyway, there was a lawsuit recently by a Stephanie Sinclair. She sued Mashable over a Instagram post that they shared and they put into one of their posts online. If you're not familiar with Mashable.com, they're basically a news source, an online blogging platform news source. And the lawsuit was that they did an article about female journalists, and they did an article on several different women, and Stephanie Sinclair was one of those photographers that they featured, and they showed her name, a little bit about her and what she's been doing, and then they showed one of her Instagram posts. And for certain reasons, Stephanie Sinclair was unhappy with that, and she decided to sue Mashable over copyright infringement, that they were taking her photo and using it without her permission. Now, I, as a professional photographer, understand where she's coming from, but I, as a professional and somebody interested in business and legal matters, have to side with Mashable on this one, and I understand why they won their lawsuit. So, with that, I wanted to go a little bit more into copyrights and that aspect. You see, there's a general misunderstanding that you, as the copyright owner, own the rights to the copies of your photos. Now, that's generally true, except for the fact that you have to factor in, what the photos are of. It's not always the photo itself. You may have a copy of that photo, but you may not have a copy or rights to what you're taking a photo of. Those have copyright laws as well. A perfect example of that is when the vessel in New York City opened up. They wanted copyright claims on all the photos of that place because it's a unique location, it's a unique design, and tons of photographers were showing up to it and taking photos of it, sharing online, trying to make money off of it. And the vessel was like, if you tag us in tag the location of the vessel, trying to get other people to see the photo, you're basically using their artistic rights to it. So that's where it gets tricky. Another perfect example is the Eiffel Tower. You can't sell a photo of the Eiffel Tower that's taken at night because the lighting company that designed the lighting structure inside the Eiffel Tower owns the copyright on that. So they can stop you from trying to make money off of the sale of a nighttime sky. So what does that have to do with copyright when it comes to being a photographer? What you have to always factor into is, what makes a photo marketable? What makes it able to be sold? And a lot of that has to do with what's in the photo. This is where a model release is important. At the end of the day, if I sat back and I took a photo of Cindy Crawford on the beach, I can guarantee you the reason why that photo has any interest is because it's Cindy Crawford that's in the photo. You can't just take a photo of anyone and put them on a beach and have it really be nice. Even though the photographer may love that to be the case. That's where name recognitions and model releases all come into play. There's likeness involved. So if you take a photo of just one person, you know, and you take that photo and you're now using it on your website and stuff like that, and they're becoming like the face of your brand, much like the lady Flo from Progressive, right? A photo of her is instantly connected with the brand Progressive. So she hopefully gets paid very handsomely for what she does. So if you were to sit back and take her and do a photo with her somewhere, people may mistake that for being connected with the Progressive brand. So you would need a model release from someone like her. And that goes with, you know, anybody that you sit back and take a photo and use that way. So, but let's get back to Mashable. The reason why I sided with them is that there's a thing under copyright law called fair use. There are several different aspects to copyright law. There's four main aspects, and one of them is there's four main aspects to fair use, and one of those things is editorial use. A perfect example of that is if you are writing an article. Let's say you're writing an article about the war, and you needed a photo to go along with that news article to kind of get exposure to it, get people looking at it. Especially online, nobody really just reads. People need to be drawn in with a photo. So you go online and you find a photo from the war that represents it, and you put that photo online. That's copyright infringement. You're using the photo that's over here to draw attention to your article that's about this. And you're just using a picture of the war to do it. That's not what happened here. What happened here in Mashable was doing an article about 4 photographers. So these photographers were their subject matter. Stephanie Sinclair was one of the subject matters of the article. So they were writing some information about her, and of course they put her name, they put her information, they gave her credit, and they embedded a photo of one of Stephanie Sinclair's posts from her Instagram feed. Now the lawsuit is under the fact of, you know, when you put a photo online for Instagram, you're basically signing over a license to them to allow that photo to be embedded online anywhere. Now that's a broad stroke. I don't think that legal aspect will hold up in every single scenario, but in this one it does, because of the editorial aspect to it. You know, and no time is Mashable claiming rights to the photo and saying that it was their photo, that they took it. And no time were they using that photo to market something else, like in the way the war article, right? The article is about her photography. So using a photo of hers from her Instagram post is basically editorial. You know, it's part of the subject matter of the article itself. So that's my general opinion about that regarding the Mashable lawsuit. So just understand, anytime you post a photo on Instagram, on Facebook, you put something here on YouTube or anything like that, you're putting it in a public platform, and it basically opens it up to being used for editorial purposes. Now, if you don't think it's being used for editorial purposes and you see somebody using your photo to profit, to market, maybe they're taking your photo and putting it on a t-shirt and trying to sell that, it doesn't matter if they got that photo from Instagram, Facebook, public, Google Images, it doesn't matter. That's copyright infringement. They're using your photo to bring attention to what they're doing, their own purpose. So that's where the main argument is. So you can take that as you will. But anyway, that's a quick episode of the Messy Desk and my quick thoughts on that new Instagram lawsuit. And I will see you soon on an episode of the Messy Studio. I'm kind of liking these red lights. So I'm going to use these red lights for anything that I talk business-wise as far as like the Messy Desk. When I'm doing the Messy Studio, I'm going to sit back and switch it over to blue lights. What do you think about that? Does that work? Yeah. So let's go back to white and then we'll make it blue, right? So that's cool. So now I have a blue background. I'm going to use that blue background for anything dealing with technology, gear, anything that goes into the Messy Studio. So anyway, this is Scooter Roth. Make sure to click subscribe and keep an eye on what we're doing. You can find me over at Scooter Roth on Instagram and also at Changing Optics. So Changing Optics is a photography community. I'd like to eventually have other photographers take over the platform, kind of like what I recently did for Jersey Collective. And then I also have several different brands: Mitzvah Mayhem, Rimlight Weddings, Rubbing Shoulders. Those all cover different areas. So that's a little bit about me, and I will see you next time. Take care.